Live. I don't know why my camera borders are up, but I'll fix that after the stream. And let's just see. Hopefully, some people hop in here soon.
All right.
We haven't live streamed in so long, bro.
Yo, it's been a long time, man. A very
Alone.
long time.
Both been busy, man. How you been?
Yeah. I've been good, man. Just struggling to keep up with this content, man. I see some of y'all done fell off and y'all encouraged me to get on and y'all like fading away on me, man.
Man,
Gotta keep
I'm
on
gonna pick
pushing.
back up. I think picking up this Pixel 8 Pro is definitely gonna help pick things back up for sure.
Yeah. Did you run out of like stuff content? Is that what it was?
Just ran out of time, really. Time to create content, time to edit videos, time to record videos, all of that. Just gotta get a better schedule. Just got a new job and all kind of stuff going on, bro. Got a new puppy. There's
Oh
lots of
God.
a lot has happened since the last time we've talked. Got engaged. Getting ready to go to Maui with Snapdragon, all kind of stuff, bro.
Got you.
Yeah, and congratulations on your little one coming up
Ah, yeah, man. Should be here next week, man. Next week. I'm
next
excited.
week.
Mm-hmm.
That's
They
fast,
set a
bro.
date. They set a date to induce her, so we have a guaranteed date. Well, once they induce her, we're gonna have like maybe within the next 48 hours she's gonna be here because that's just breaking the water and stuff. So
Yeah, that makes sense. That
yeah,
makes sense. Let me see something real quick. Okay, there we go.
yeah. I just shared it. So
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna share it too
yeah,
on Twitter.
we should have went back to like actually. I know we was trying to focus on this, but we should have probably went back to putting
Yeah,
it on
for the
both our
first
pages.
time back. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. For the first time back, we should have done that.
yeah.
I Let me share it on my end. Yeah, my Pixel actually just died. I'm charging it back up right now. How are you liking it so far, man? I know we're Team
uh,
Pixel right now. I've missed being on the Pixel so much, bro.
Where's no
So,
surprise that I love mine, because
oh
you
yeah,
guys know how much I love my pixels. I'm like the
yeah,
iJustine of pixels. But
man. Yeah, it's like that sometimes.
yeah, definitely. But I want to say that I do prefer the fold now. I am into this foldable thing
Really?
now.
Really?
Yeah. The foldable form factor, bro. I just this you just can't, man. You just can't like. I'm sorry, man. Slabs just don't do it for me no more, man. The
Man,
foldables are it. Like
I feel
when,
it. I really so I was actually so I had like four phones that I was debating on going after.
mhm,
Just like the way my phone plan is right now, it would have been cheaper for me to get a new phone than like keep the phone I had previously. Like I keep two phones on me. I have like one paid off phone and then the other one I just run through a contract so I can
yeah,
carry multiple devices. That's a strategy I came up with in the last year. But um so basically I was gonna pick between the Pixel Fold, the Pixel
mhm,
8 Pro, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and then the
mhm.
Z Flip 4. Those were like my main four options. I decided to go with the 8 Pro, literally just because of the Google keynote. Like that's
Got you.
that their
Yeah,
advertising for like AI features and everything was so good that I just had to. I'm really into like post processing and all of that, and like different types of technology that work better in post. I just
mhm,
really love like video. I'm one of the few people that like actually enjoys video editing and things like that, and just like
yeah,
finding the best feature to like just make photos and videos better. So that's like the major reason I went with the 8 Pro because Samsung isn't offering anything like that. Apple isn't offering. Well, Apple kind of is, but yeah, that's a whole other.
mhm. Not nothing on Google's level. Nobody's offering
Well,
anything
yeah,
on
it's like
Google's level.
not so. Apple has a lot of manual control, but it's not automated.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's like the main reason I went with the Pixel 8 Pro, just because of the different features they advertised. I really wanted a fold. Like if I found out like the fold would get the software features that the Pixel 8 Pro has, I definitely would have went fold because I've been itching to get a foldable as well. So
Well,
Yeah.
the fold is going to get it, um, but I
Don't know
don't think
when.
it's going to get like all the features that comes with it because it looks like they're going to keep like pretty much like Pro Video, they're going to keep
Yeah,
some of
right,
that stuff for the Pixel 8 and up. I guess I'm assuming that's how they're going to do it, as far as Pro mode and all that stuff like that. But a lot of that
I think
feature
they're gonna.
software, yeah, they're
Yeah,
going to
so
triple it
in
down.
the future, they're gonna keep doing that, like, just making, like, major differences in between the software of the 8, the 9 and 9 Pro and so on. Do you think they're gonna keep doing that?
I do think that's going to be a trend for them, to kind of like separate the two. And
Yeah.
I really don't like it. I mean, like nobody likes it, right? Because people want to be able to get the phone that they want, the smaller version, and be happy with that. But you're forced to upgrade to the bigger phone because you want a feature that they're taking away, which is really just software lock, not a hardware lock. And I mean,
Mhm.
Apple does the same thing. They've been doing it for a long time, software locking stuff that we know for a fact can be tripled
Yeah.
down to their other phones, but they just don't because they rather you sell it. And I guess for a business point of view, it's good, but as a consumer, we hate it because we want that feature. So yeah. But I
Yeah.
do think that Google needs to stop including features into their paid Google One subscription type thing to
Okay, I
allow.
agree much, yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
that.
When they allow other people, OEMs, just like Apple and Samsung, to use their features, like Google
Mhm.
really needs to have some exclusive feature. They do right now for sure,
I
but they
agree.
need to keep like powerful ones like that photo stuff to themselves.
I 100% agree. I feel like just because they're, like, the main, like, innovator in Android or whatever, they're
Yeah.
creators of Android. They're literally just gonna push it to other phones, like, in Android versions, which I think they shouldn't do. I completely agree with you. I think they should definitely lock, a lot of these features to Pixels. Again, I don't really care for, them, like, giving the best features to the Pro model because the main reason is because, in my opinion, not everyone wants a big phone. The Pixel 8 Pro
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a big phone, but, like, it's technically a big phone. What is it? 6.7 inches. Um, but a lot of people are gonna want like the same performance and same features in a 6-inch screen or whatever. So yeah, I definitely don't agree with that one at all.
Yeah. I agree. I just wish they just made better decisions like that because it'd be so much better.
Okay, another thing I don't like that they did, they're holding some of the
Mhm.
features until December when the big feature drop or whatever, how Google does every,
Mhm.
few months with the feature drop. They're like, the major one that I really wanted to test out was Video Boost, and that's not
Mhm.
coming out to this till December. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, them holding features,
I mean, to be
even
honest with you,
phone now?
I don't really care. I mean, at this point, like we can all keep complaining about this stuff, but companies just keep doing it. It's a trend. It's a trend now, and I just stopped caring because every time, like, just say Apple, because Apple kind of started this whole thing that I can recall. And every time I got a new iPhone, I was like, "Oh, I want that feature." And then it's like, "Well, we're gonna send this update later, and you're gonna get this later
Yeah.
this year. Come in later this year." I really don't like when companies announce stuff and then we get it later. But I don't
Mhm.
got used to it now. I just kind of got to a point where I just don't care. I really don't care. Is
I mean, yeah.
as crazy as that sound, like I want to say that I'm mad about it, but because they companies been doing it for so long, I
So
just
used
don't
to it,
care.
yeah.
Yeah,
Used to
it's,
it now,
it's
yeah.
it's like I'm numb to it. Yeah, and plus, like I'm not I'm not super excited like everybody else is because I'm not a video guy when it comes to like phones. I
I
really don't
understand, yeah.
care. So
I
it's
understand.
not a big thing. I guess I want it to be good and want it to work for the sake of people, shutting up about Pixel's video quality and claiming Apple is the king and or Samsung this and Samsung that or what. I guess I'm just sick of all
Yeah,
of that. I do think the iPhone has better video quality
I do
than
too, yeah.
every phone. But I will say that today I did do a quick video test, and if I'm honest right now, the Pixel video quality looked better than the iPhone today
So,
that I
yeah.
took. So I'm going to do more testing on it, but
Yeah.
today it seemed like the Pixel was better. And just looking at it. And I actually got that video uploading right now. So I'm debating and doing a surprise release tonight or just waiting tomorrow. So you'll see
And
what
you
I'm
do
talking
it
about.
fresh, do it
And
fresh in the morning.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Because I already dropped 2 videos yesterday. So I think I could hold off
Okay. Yeah.
to drop one a day. So but yeah, it was interesting seeing that. So yeah, I don't know, man. And look, I'm not saying that the video is better. I'm just saying this situation where I was recording, it just to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I would
That's
have
fair.
chose the Pixel video over it. So yeah.
Hey, and that's a preference thing. Like you shouldn't even like have to apologize for your own opinion. You good, bro.
Yeah. That's true.
You
That's
good.
true.
I mean, people gonna get at you, but that's just what tech Twitter is these days.
Yeah.
Just like based on other comparisons I've seen, I like the colors of the Pixel 8 Pro video more than the
Yes.
last. Like the other ones,
And
just super saturated, but it
mhm,
still looks better just because of how bright the colors are, and especially when you have the HDR boost turned on, it's
mhm.
pretty legit.
And that's crazy that you say that because that is something that I mentioned in the video the most is like the colors were so much better. Like the iPhone, just like their photos, is so warm all the time and it just
Okay,
doesn't look natural and real. And it's
yeah,
crazy because I don't know when or where we got to a point in this tech world where we start saying that the iPhone is the most natural shooting phone when it comes to the color. And then
mm,
like it's crazy because there's other like actual professional photographers actually saying the same thing. And
yeah,
I mean, like at that point, people say, well, they might be paid or they might just be used to iPhone. What I'm thinking is that everyone's just, if you're a photographer and you've been using iPhone, you're just used to the color that comes out of the iPhone. And
right,
anything else seems off, right? And when I compare a natural shot from my camera to the iPhone, the iPhone is too warm. I compared a natural shot from the Pixel, the iPhone is too warm. Even on the
yeah,
Pixel, I mean the Galaxy phone, my S23 Ultra, the iPhone is just too warm. I don't see the word warm every day. It look like it's golden hour every day on iPhone, whether you're shooting a photo or you're shooting a video. It's golden hour all day long. That's not a thing in real life.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I feel that, but yeah, that's what I noticed most, like, with the
Hmm.
comparison videos and everything. Imma, like,
Yeah.
compare it with my S23 Ultra. I don't have any other phones right now, but, yeah, we're definitely gonna see. I haven't had the time to just, like, really just sit down and compare yet, but, I definitely like the colors on the 8 Pro video already. I don't even think I've recorded a video on my own 8 Pro yet, but I've taken a lot of photos today, and
Mhm.
camera's looking real googly, which is, like, my preference. For
Yeah.
sure. Like when Samsung went like more googly, like they made the skin colors better and
Mhm.
really focused on portrait mode. I feel like that's when they really stepped it up in the camera to like really put themselves in the top five for smartphone cameras. I just feel like everyone should really take that route. Just be as googly as possible with the photo processing.
I think so too, man. I think that natural will probably be the best thing that you want. I know that each company has their own unique thing. Google kind of goes to a contrast type look, but still natural colors. While
Yeah,
Apple is more warm tone. And then I noticed that with Samsung, their shift a lot. Sometimes if you're shooting people, it goes into a magenta tone, and if you're shooting anything else, is more saturated. And it's all down to preference when it comes to these. But I feel like natural would probably be the best way to go for most people. And at least if anybody wanted to add more saturation, if they wanted to add warmer tones, then it can be added in post. Not saying that everyone wants to shoot that way, but
yeah, right.
we also have filters on phones now. So if you can find a filter that works for you and keep it up there, especially on an iPhone, right?
Yeah,
And you can just
and
shoot from the filter all the time. And Samsung has it too, but Pixel
and
doesn't.
Yeah, and I hate that argument, about
Mhm,
people complaining about having to, like, edit photos or videos in post. Like, that's
mhm.
literally what every creator, that's what every influencer does.
Yeah.
It's, like, such a weird argument in my opinion. Like, of course, you
Mhm.
wanna save time, but literally every other professional page in the world, that's what they do. They edit photos, they edit videos, like, regularly.
Yeah, and just to feed onto that flame right there, man. Just oof. um every normal average person edits. If you really think
Yeah,
about this, right? So the
right,
one of the things is that people say they love iPhones because the video quality and the photo quality and like Snapchat, Instagram, and all that. Have you ever seen anybody post from any of those social media sites without putting a filter on, without
right,
putting some type of edit form from inside the app itself? So
right.
theoretically, we all kind of edit our pictures. We don't just take the picture and just straight up upload it. I mean, some of us may do that from time to
Yeah,
time, but
right.
for the most part, we're using those social apps and we're editing. Whether we slap a filter up there or whether we're going in and manually editing everything, is something being done to the photos. So it's
Yeah,
still
right.
better for it to come naturally out of the camera and then you add that up there. So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
manipulating
that
this.
argument, yeah, that argument is stupid. I agree with you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's backtrack a little bit. When
Mhm.
did you decide that you're picking up the Pixel 8 Pro, basically? Um, did
Man,
you
I'm gonna
do
be honest with you. It
did you
was
do
a
it
it was Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, did you do it right at the pre-order, or was it, like, something you had to
I
think a
did.
few days
Uh,
on, or
No,
okay,
it was right at the pre-door. Up until the event, I had no intentions of ordering it because of the Pixel Fold. I said, you know what? I think I'm just gonna get rid of slabs and cover
okay.
foldables. And watch the event, and my jaw was like, uh. And then it was like, well, this is in this Pixel is not coming here into a feature drop. And I'm like, ah.
So
And
what features, like, interested you the
well,
most in that keynote?
off the rip, off the rip, like as soon as they went on stage and showed pro mode on this bad boy right here,
Okay, yeah,
I
that was
instantly I instantly went to my browser, set up another little, I went split screen mode and I went to the Google store and I instantly ordered this. Pro mode was enough. I
hilarious.
was done after that. I was like, it's about fucking time, right? And then
Yeah,
on top of that, he was like 50 megapixels. Like I get the full sensor and no bending, no nothing, raw files. I was like, that's what I wanted for Pixel because I enjoyed it on my
drop
iPhone 13 Pro. So now I have it on my Pixel, the phone that I love the most, right? And now I have to worry about grabbing my iPhone shooting that. But I want to say all the magic stuff, right? Magic Eraser, the upgraded version. I want to say to be able to move stuff around, uh, change people's faces. All of that intrigued me because those are things that I do in photos now as a photographer, anyways. Not changing people's faces though, but all that
yeah.
other stuff that's going on. And I see how easy it is to do on a phone. And I just thought it was pretty cool. Now, will I send a photo to my phone, process that, send it back to whatever I'm working on? Probably not. I probably still do all of that manually, but it's just nice that I can do it on a phone if needed. So
Mhm.
I just think that somewhere between transferring back and forth, I would lose image quality. So I don't want
Yeah,
to. I don't want to risk that if it's a client work or something like that.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. So, just for the viewers who are here, we both decided to pick up the blue color, um, Bay Blue, right?
Yes, Bay Blue, Bay Blue.
Bay Blue Squad. I love that color. I honestly think they should have released at least one more color. When I
Mhm.
was just looking, white, black, and blue. That's kind of like weird to
Yeah,
me. Like
I
okay,
thought so too. I thought so
okay,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like at least have a feminine color, like maybe like
Mhm.
a light pink or something. But there's a pink
Maybe.
8, isn't there?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
color?
It's a pink 8 though.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. But still, like for a pro phone, I think you need at least 4 colors, in my opinion, anyway. I know that's probably gonna like rub some people the wrong way, but I definitely feel like they needed at least one more, maybe like a grays, just something. I don't know, something else.
No, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, being that Samsung offers like so many colors in launch is insanely crazy, and then they drop like four more colors a little bit after launch. I think Google at least I want Google to just take a risk and just throw away the black and throw away the porcelain and I guess Obsidian and just give us color options and see what happened. You know, it would be really nice if they gave us the colors of their logo, right? Those colors. Like, so
Right.
you
Yeah.
get a yellow one, a red one, green one, and a blue one. That would be
Mhm.
so dope, you know, and just to see what type of impact it would make. Because to be honest, like most people say, we put cases on our devices or skin, you know,
Right.
so color don't always really matter.
Mhm.
It matters to me to a point because I just want to take pictures with the phone and it looks nice and stuff like that. But as far
Yeah.
as like everyday life, you know, I'm gonna have a skin on my devices. Then you have people who actually have let's say cases on their devices. And that's just the reality of it. So I
Yeah,
would
that
really,
makes sense.
yeah. So I want them to take a chance, at least one of these companies to take a chance and stop giving us these dull colors and just go with some vivid ones and just see what
Or
happens, you know, because
yeah. Or at least do what Samsung does, give us more color options, charge more money, like,
yeah. Well,
at least
if
that.
you're not gonna go to Samsung way, you just need to just drop the black and then drop the white and just see what happens. But I prefer, like you say, I prefer the Samsung way, to be honest with you. Therefore, you still get your basic black and white, and then you get all the other color options to choose from. And I need them to be, you know, vivid. I need them. You see, when I hold this phone up, how this color just pops in your face like instantly. It
Yeah,
just
right, right.
pops. Like if you looked at the blue that comes out that iPhone, the current iPhone, it looks like it's white, and this looks like it's blue. And I
Mm.
was on this phone in Walmart, and people was like, "Oh my god, I like your phone." Like I don't get compliments from people saying they like your
Yeah, right,
phone,
right, right. Yeah.
right? But because the color just was like stood out to them, they was like, "Whoa, a blue phone! Like it's really blue." When they see it, they see a
Yeah,
big old
right.
blue
Yeah,
phone
I love
against my face, so it draws a little bit of attention and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, you know." And I was like, "Oh, this is the new Google Pixel," and I was like, "Oh, I've seen
yeah.
that commercial."
Yeah, I definitely love the color of this bay blue for real. Like you said, it pops. Like it's not a subtle color in person. It's not
No,
subtle at all. Like when you pick it up, like you gonna see it. And
yeah.
speaking of that, we just gonna like just go through the build quality and everything. When you
Mhm.
first picked up your phone out of the box, like what was your initial thought? Just in terms of the feel, in terms of the build quality. Um,
I think the build quality is good. It just does, but it doesn't really feel premium. And all right,
okay,
okay, it's hard to
that's
explain
fair.
that, right? Because
That's
it's
fair.
not heavy. Because it's not heavy, right?
I
That's the
was
thing.
literally just about to say that. I was literally
Yes,
just
I think weight plays a illusion on us
it does,
that
bro.
something is
It
premium
does. It
because it's
does.
heavy, and
100%.
that's where I just want to stand with that. It doesn't feel heavy, so it doesn't feel premium, but I know it's premium. So yeah.
Exactly. Bro, like, literally, that's, like, my first initial thought. When I picked
Mhm.
it up, I'm like, "Man, it's kinda light. This the pro version?" That was my first initial thought, like, "Was is this
Yeah.
really the pro version?" And then, like, when you put it next to, like, the S23 Ultra, like, it is not as
Mhm.
big, and then it's not as like, the weight really plays a factor.
It does
Like,
play a factor.
it plays such a big like, you know, I'm a huge smartwatch guy, like,
Mhm.
one of, like, the biggest, like, things for me, I want a weighty watch, that's probably the reason I have not touched a Pixel Watch yet,
Yeah,
because they're
bro.
just, like, so light
Light.
and yeah,
Super light.
super light.
Like I'm
That's
not
why
even
I
wearing
only
it.
get the biggest version of the Galaxy Watch Pro or Classic
Mhm.
that I can get, just because I need that weight on my wrist, just because I just want it to feel premium, and weight
Yeah.
just does that. I don't know why, but it just does.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
that's literally the first thought I had when I, like, picked it up out of the box was that,
Mhm.
"Man, this is light and this is smooth." Like, I think it feels better than my S23 Ultra, I don't know how, but when I picked up my S23 Ultra for the first time, I'm like, "Man,
Mhm.
the best feeling phone I've ever had." And then I picked up this 8 Pro and I'm like, "Oh, no, this it right here." Like, it's light, really comfortable to hold, the back is just feel like paper, like,
Mhm. Yeah, right, right.
it's a nice
And
build quality phone.
I agree. I just I just I get why people like light phones though, right? Because most
Yeah,
people
right.
take their phones and they're watching stuff and they're holding it up like this. And you know, you don't want a big giant heavy phone, something like this, the Pixel Fold or whatever. So it makes sense for it to be light as possible because you're using it here and you're using it like that, and people don't want heavy stuff or whatever like that. So it kind of makes sense. But like I say, it doesn't feel like it's any less premium than the Galaxy phone or even iPhones, as well, not the new iPhones, the old iPhones that were heavy.
Mhm.
But weight is just that illusion of weight for me. That's just the reality. It's just like, oh, this phone feels cheap. Feels cheap because it's not heavy. You buy a
Exactly.
camera. I
You
bought
you
my
just
camera.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. I
it's
got
just like
like,
your brain assumes that like this is cheap material, this is plastic, like this
yeah,
ain't like
yeah.
that's like literally that's my thought process when I like review things
Mhm.
like that. Like feel is a big factor in
It
like
is. It
figuring
is.
out if something is expensive or premium or whatever. Yeah.
It is because I got like three cameras, three Canon cameras, and like my R6 is like the heaviest, and my R is the heavy, and then my RP is very light. So compared to both of those cameras, the RP feels cheap, while the other two feels way more premium. Which, in theoretically, they are more premium and they are more expensive,
Yeah.
but the RP isn't cheap by any means because if you get a camera that's under that camera, then you're gonna feel like, okay, now the RP feels kind of big. So it's just it's just it's just the illusion of the weight that it is. And then
Yes.
uh in the camera where we want cameras to be lighter, like that's why everything moved to mirrorless, because mirrorless cameras are much lighter than the DSLR bodies, which are heavy and bulky. So we want that lightness because we're carrying it, but then when you feel like it's light, it feel like it's gonna break or something. So I don't know. It's just a lot going
Yeah.
on with that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So yeah, we just like basically just talked about the build quality and things. The
Mhm.
very next thing I noticed was that screen. This
Yes,
screen is so bright. When I like
man.
was recording my unboxing or whatever, I'm
Mhm.
not a camera expert or anything, but when I like pressed the power button, that thing blew
Mhm.
my camera out. Like my camera out so hard. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pitch this and redo it. Like
Yes.
that screen is ridiculous. Like I'd be afraid to like use my phone at night when I'm like next to my fiance or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I'd be afraid to use it because it's like literally that bright. Like I thought nothing could get better than a Samsung display. Like this Pixel 8 Pro display is up
It
there.
topped it. Yeah. I
It's
said the same thing in my unboxing video when I turned it on. I was like, good thing it's bright. It was funny, but I was serious because it was bright, man. Like I would
legit.
hate
Yeah,
to be that person updating your phone at night and then it has to go through reset. When it reset and you're looking at it reset, that just blind you, bro, in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, you'd be in some trouble. But yeah,
man.
I think that Google literally did a really good job with this Pixel. Realistically, I mean, we're gonna have people that's gonna nitpick and complain about a lot of things because that's what YouTubers and creators kind of do now at this point. I don't like the trend. I'm trying to like not do what they do, stay out of that
Yeah.
trend or whatever. Even if
Yes.
it means that my channel is gonna suffer from some subscribers because people kind of drawn to that stuff, and I'll find an audience that's not, because there's an audience for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But the trend is to find some things to nitpick and talk about. But I think that Google really made a good experience because if you really kind of like break down everything that this phone does, at the end of the day, all of these things are phones. And as long
100%.
as as long as we're getting um, pictures, memories, video memories, phone calls, texting, I guess entertainment wise, YouTube videos, watching some videos, and maybe playing occasional games. And that's pretty much what you really need the phone to do. Everything else is just like an added bonus that we can do on our phones. So, I don't complain too much because I am from an era where we couldn't even think about phones doing half of the stuff that we do now on these phones. So I'm always appreciated of the technology that we do have. A lot of the younger generation who were born into an era where the technology was already here, I guess they won't learn to appreciate it until further down the line, right? But
Mhm.
me and you, we've come from the back in the days, bro. We didn't even have, man, you had to pay for text messaging. You had to pay for
100%.
minutes on your phone.
You have
We
to
didn't
wait
even
till seven
have
o'clock.
yeah. Yeah, man. So
Yeah,
I think that's why my channel is the way it is, because I actually appreciate tech a lot more, and for what it is today compared to
you
what
gotta
it
like
was
sit
back
there and
then.
respect to what a company does instead of just bashing them if they don't do one or two things right.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think that's just too much. And but like I say, there's an audience that loves to hear that. They want that. And
Oh yeah,
I'm not
100%.
I'm yeah, I'm just not that person that's going to give it to them. I'm just going to literally talk about mostly the good things and what the phone is and what it, what you're paying for and what you're getting, instead of,
Yeah.
trying to downplay something or whatever like that, cuz everybody
Yeah.
wants something to be like the best of the best. And you're chasing dreams, bro.
Yeah, so I was just talking about turning the phone on a minute ago. I will
Mhm,
say this is the smoothest. I don't know if it's Android 14 or what, but this is the
mhm.
smoothest setup I've ever had. Took me half
Yes.
hour. That's it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
my apps,
yeah.
my Galaxy, text most of my text messages I had to do the SMS restore app again because it
Mhm.
didn't get everything, but it got most of my text messages from like 3 days before
Yeah.
I got the phone or whatever. But this was definitely the smoothest uh just
Set up.
process. Yeah,
Yeah.
backup process and all that.
Mhm.
Like literally just I didn't even have to put in my Wi-Fi password. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Android 4. Have you noticed that too? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
Android 14 or what, but the
I think I
onboarding
think it I
process
think
for
it is
Android.
Android 14. I think it is a new feature or something like that, but I know Google has made it so much easier to transition over. I transferred my eSIM. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that I got Project Fi. That's my
Okay.
second line that I use.
Okay.
It's just basically it's just a line for calling and texting and stuff like that, not really data. I mean, obviously I have data, but I don't use the data because, of course, with Project Fi, you pay for the data that you use, or you could just pay for unlimited plan with the data. But
Okay.
I'm always have a second phone for testing, and it's always a phone for business calls and stuff. So my second line is just texting and calling, and I pay $20 a month for that.
Okay.
And this year, well, this is what I did at the event. I heard about the whole eSIM situation. So I was like, you know what? Let me. So in this phone right here, currently right now, I have an eSIM and a physical SIM card in here. Okay. So I decided to take my Pixel Fold eSIM. I decided to activate my eSIM on my Pixel Fold through
Okay.
Project Fi.
That's fair.
So I can transfer to this phone. I wanted to see how that will transition over. Man, it was so smooth, so
Mhm.
smooth, and I had no issues at all. So I am going to end up transferring the eSIM from here back to this phone, because this is going to be my main phone for a few months while this one sits as my second phone. But then once I'm done with this one, I'm probably going to go back to this one. Then this one will be my second phone. So, and I'll just swap my physical SIM card because I got T-Mobile and Project Fi. So,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was a um super simple backup and everything for me. I was really happy about that. Literally took me
Mhm.
30 minutes and then I was able to access my phone and like of course apps were still downloaded, but I was still able to like use the phone.
Oh yeah. How was the temperature while I was going through that for you?
Not bad at all. I only experience like warmer temperatures when I'm
Mhm.
actually charging it. But when
Yeah.
I thought it would because usually Android phones do
Yes.
that. No matter what
Uh-huh.
Android phone I get, it does that. But the Pixel A Pro did not. The first time I'm actually literally about 20 minutes ago is probably the first time I've like felt it get warm because
Mhm.
it completely died and I threw it on the charger and then I just turned it back on and it was trying to like send links and everything. Um, that's the only time it's gotten warm so far. I was really surprised about it not going through the downloading apps process and everything when I first set it up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like thermals are gonna be okay. And of
Yeah.
course it's gonna get better with updates regardless. So it's not something I'm concerned about at all.
Yeah, same here. I really personally, the first my last Pixels, I didn't have any issues with thermals or anything like everyone else. Not everyone. I just want to say the people that did have issues, because not everyone had issues. But I think that this is a good sign for a lot of people because I've seen people who live in the India climate that mostly complained about thermals a lot, and anybody in a hot climate, I guess, and they're saying that it's a lot better and is under control. So that's really good news to hear.
That's good to hear.
Um, yeah, me reporting anything saying that it's better, I can't. I'm lying because I
Mhm.
haven't necessarily used
It's
it.
not in that type of
uh,
environment.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't had those issues or whatever like that. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed, I really like the buttons on the Pixel 8 Pro.
Uh-huh.
I really like how the power button, like, sticks out, like, further than other phones that I've had anyway. Like, the
Yeah.
S23 Ultra, like, if you feel it, like, it's kinda, like, flush with the side
Uh-huh.
of, like, the railing or whatever, but I really like that I'm able to, like, distinguish the power button from the volume buttons just by feeling, because it's a learning process because the button
Uh-huh.
layout is completely different on the S23 Ultra than it is the 8 Pro, so, I
Yeah.
appreciate what Google did with, like, making the power button stick out a little more, and the buttons all feel great. The haptics are crazy.
Oh yeah, the haptics are good. Jeez. I mean, Google had good haptics since the six, man. So
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah,
they just get better each
every
time,
year.
and when people say that they're better than iPhone, people get upset, because no, I mean it's a reality, man.
Yeah,
iPhone users, man, they
nothing.
don't want no phone to trump anything that the iPhone does. They want everything to remain better so they can just say it's better. And it's weird to me because it's not your phone, bro. It's Apple's. Like, why are you
Right,
flexing
right,
that? And I never really said that haptics are better on my Pixel. I just say it's the best haptics I've used, and that's not saying that it's better than another company's haptics or anything like that. It's just from what I've used, these feel good to me. And whether and the iPhone does have good haptics, but I think that the Pixel haptics do feel better to me, and I like it, definitely,
oh,
compared to like Samsung as well. So
yeah,
that's just my truth.
yeah, for sure. One of the first things I noticed when just like scrolling through everything,
Hmm.
literally is just f- flicking up from the home screen, scrolling. I automatically tech talk. I told him this is a million times more responsive than One UI.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. Like it's some sort of delay, like with animations and everything in One UI versus Pixel UI or whatever. It's so weird. Like you don't notice it until you have both in front of you. Like I was swiping through apps on both. Like I know this is a fresh new phone,
Yeah.
but still, like
it,
it's
it, it don't it don't matter if it's fresh. It's gonna still feel like that even after a month, 6 months, 7 months. Trust me. But go ahead.
yeah. But even when I throw a launcher on that, I threw a launcher on
Mhm.
it this morning. Like it's still more responsive than One UI. I thought that was just crazy. I
Yeah,
automatically text Ike this morning and told him that. He was like, "Yeah, bro, it's been like that."
yeah, and people, when I said it in my video so many times, people don't believe me when I say that. I'm not sure how many people have both phones and can tell for themselves, but I'm not trashing like Samsung at all.
Oh
I
no,
think
it's
their
not a
phone,
bad thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because their phone is very responsive, is very fluent. The animation's getting better. It's a great phone. It's a great device all around, but it just seems like your
right,
pixel moves before you think about it, right? You
right, yeah,
you put your finger on the screen, and next thing you know, it knows what you're about to do, and it just moves it. And then by the time you actually move it, it's like, whoa, it's just that much buttery, and it feels better than the iPhone too when navigating around too. People hate for me to say that too, but that's just the truth. That how I feel when I hold both of the phones in my hand and I'm navigating. I can tell, but that doesn't mean that I'm saying the iPhone animations and smoothness is trash. People look at it like because I say something is it feels better, meaning that I'm saying the other one is bad. But I definitely don't think so at all whatsoever. If I had to choose between like the best haptics that I enjoy using and smoothness and fluidity, I will go with the Pixel first, and I'll go with the iPhone second, then I go with my Samsung third. And that's just how I feel about all three of those phones that I
yeah.
use. So
So, how do you feel about the Pixel Futures? Is it something that you saw like automatically that you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna use this? Like, is there
Yeah,
anything you saw that as soon as you like got into the phone? Is there
yeah.
anything? Because I know you're a steady Pixel user, so is there anything new that you saw?
Um, yeah, I guess the thermostat.
I haven't used it.
The
How do you even? I was wondering that. And
all right.
Bo, gotta teach me about
It's
both of them because I haven't like
well,
used both.
bars not here yet, but it will
Oh,
be. So it's an app. You open the app up right here. It's just
okay,
a
what's
simple
the app
app.
called on your phone?
It says thermometer. You'll see it up there. It should be at the bottom in the T's.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, and that's it. And at the bottom, there's like default, and you can pick certain things that you want to choose from. What I just keep it at default because it just measures whatever I'm pointing at. And you make sure that this sensor right here is about a few inches away from whatever you're trying to measure, and then you just measure it. And it's crazy because it actually works. I've seen a couple of videos show kind of like how good accurate it is. It's probably off by like maybe two or three, but it's pretty very accurate. Um, a lot of people are talking about this being a gimmick, and I think that Google will probably drop this feature next year, probably.
They need to.
At
Yeah.
first, I honestly thought it was a depth sensor to measure for portrait mode. I really
Yeah.
was kind of hoping for that when I first seen it like that, but then that
Mhm.
lady they did that little advertisement. I was like, oh, dang, that's not a depth sensor. And I was like, oh, that's too bad because I think that for Google Pixels is that they're just missing a depth sensor to measure the distance for portrait mode. Because if you notice how Apple and Samsung, you have to be a certain distance for the measure for you. But with the Pixel, you can literally use portrait mode at any distance because they're
Yeah.
using the AI to kind of map that. And is the AI sometimes get it right and sometimes get it wrong. So that's why you'll see people say portrait mode is good, which I say is good because I know how to use it, right? I know
Yeah.
how it's
Exactly.
work.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But then you have those people who don't know how to use it and they're just expecting to just point and shoot as you should, right? And I think that it
Mhm.
should be that way. It should be point and shoot and then it works. But the AI is not always doing its job right. So you got to kind of like
Yeah.
do stuff
Exactly.
yourself and know
Yeah.
what you're
Physical
doing.
plus software
Yeah.
will always be better than just software.
Exactly. And that's why I
Yeah.
like the fact that Samsung and Apple actually tells you move back, move forward. And then so now the AI has a better chance of cutting the subject out a lot better. But anyways, let's go back to the temperature thing. I'm so sorry. Um
Oh no, you good,
just
bro.
because yeah, just because you find it as a gimmick, most people do, don't mean that it's not useful. Like I said, there's people like just think about this. This is how I like to look at it, right? We have these watches, right? And I'm gonna ask you a question, right? Do you well, you might now, if you don't, do you care about the fitness part of these watches at all? Like any of the fitness stuff? Are you like a
I care
fitness
about the basic part. Yeah.
junkie? All
I'm
right,
not
the
a
basic
junkie.
parts of it,
I
right?
care about the basic parts.
Okay.
Steps
So,
counting, distance.
uh-huh.
That's pretty much it.
All right. So there's people who cares about that stuff, right? They're junkies when
Yeah.
it comes to this stuff. So all that other stuff that the watch does as far as like body composition and this your water weight, everything else, like you don't care about that. But
No.
because you don't care about that, you say it's gimmicky. But then there's somebody who buys that watch
It's
exactly for that stuff.
for that reason.
So
Yeah.
that to me, calling something a gimmick because you won't use it doesn't make it a gimmick at all. I'm a Galaxy S23 Ultra user, right? There's people
Yeah.
who buy this phone strictly for this S Pen. Bro, I haven't pulled this S Pen out until just now, after maybe 4 months. You get what I'm saying? I
Literally, me too, bro.
4 months, bro.
Me too.
But I can say this is a gimmick. But other people are like, I use it every day. There ain't no gimmick. I do it for this. Yeah, it's a feature that you have as an option. You can use it or you can not use it. Dang, I cannot believe I pulled this thing out. Haven't took this thing out in 4 months, so now let's go another 4 months. But
Yep.
so again, back to the temperature sensor, it can be useful. Like I say, I'm going to use it to measure my baby's temperature once the FCC or FDA or whoever is approving it for humans. I'm going to use it to check my baby. I'm going to
Yeah.
use it to check her bottles and anything else that I feel like I need to check because to be honest with you, we don't have a thermostat in this house. So this is really convenient. And then also said earlier, I'm gonna stop yapping after this, but Also said earlier at my job, we serve food to children and stuff, and we always gotta check the temperature and write the temperature down. We can never find a thermostat to do that. So now that it's built in my phone, I can just measure it just like that. Boom. And trust me, my coworkers are gonna be like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a wow factor to them that my phone just measured the temperature of all the temperatures of the food when they came into us and stuff like that. Again, it could be a gimmick for some people and it could be useful for some people. So I'm just on the end of giving things a try before I start judging stuff. So, but I do think that Google may drop this. I hope they don't, but I feel like they just will.
I could see them dropping this. Kind of reminds me of what they did with the like with the really all of the sensors they had in the
The lidar,
fours.
I mean, not
Yeah,
lidar.
I know.
Project Soul. Yes.
Yeah, all of that stuff they had in the Pixel 4. I feel like they're just gonna drop it next year. That this was an experiment, I think.
Mhm.
So I definitely feel like they're gonna drop it. So we talked about the screen. We talked about battery. Oh, well, we didn't talk about battery yet. We'll talk about that in a minute. We talked about the build quality. I'm trying to think if there's anything else before we go into battery. We talked about the software, performance. That's tensor. I don't feel like it's bad. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel
Um,
performance difference between your other flagship phones?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Between my iPhone, my Galaxy phone, and Pixel 8 Pro, I don't feel like there's any real performance difference between all three phones. And I'm saying this because I'm not a hardcore gamer. I don't game on my phone. People try to use gaming as a benchmark to say that a phone is way better and powerful and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure, and I don't know, but I'm pretty sure like a lot of the population don't care about playing like Genshin Impact on no mobile phone. You know
Majority
what I'm
don't.
saying? Yeah, exactly. So let's just throw that crap out the window because people like to just body swing that into your face when it comes to a Pixel over an iPhone chip or even the Snapdragon Gen 2 or something like that. Not
Benchmarks.
everyone,
Looking
yes, nobody cares, man. So if we're
at
talking real world, day to day, basic phone usage, using Snapchat, using Instagram, making phone calls, taking pictures, making videos, editing on your phone if you're doing just the most basic stuff that people really do on their phone. I feel
yep.
no performance difference between all three of these phones at all whatsoever.
Me
So,
neither, bro. Me neither.
yeah.
Um, so how's battery for you then? Um,
It's really early to say because it's only been 2 days. I'll say 2.5 days for me since I had it. But I would say that the early predictions of it is looking really good. My first night from charging it to 100% and killing it to 0%, I actually got like 6 hours and 34 minutes on it. And I was pushing this phone really hard the first day because I was so excited about like the camera features that I just was at the job taking pictures, editing, taking pictures, making video. Oh, excuse me. And just doing so much that I was burning through the battery. I even made a comment on Twitter saying that I'm probably going to kill this battery in 30 minutes because I felt like I just saw my percentage dropping like every few
yeah,
minutes
that's
because I
how I
was
was
pushing
today. Yeah.
out, yeah, and I was pushing it harder and I was outside and the screen brightness cranked up and everything like that. So I noticed that when I was outside, the brightness kept on shifting. It goes up and then it gets too hot, it cools down, and then it goes up
Mhm.
and it goes down because it don't sustain 2400 nits for a long time. But for the most part, a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that I was doing, but it was still visual outside because 2000 was good enough. But man, when that jank cranked up, that jank cranked up. So battery, I think battery is going to be good. I don't have an issue. I never had an issue with the last Pixel battery or the one before that like everyone else had. I guess I'm just not one of those heavy hardcore users when it comes to these
I
devices.
feel
So
that.
yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, I'm curious to see what it's gonna be like too. Battery life was just bad for me today, just because I just know it takes a few days for Androids to learn your usage or whatever. But um, it just died right before this podcast. That was an hour ago.
Mhm,
I think I took it off the charger at 4 a.m. So
mhm.
it's not terrible, but I just know it will be better over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cameras. I saved that for last because I know
Mhm.
I have a lot to say about the cameras. I really like the photos that I've gotten out of it so far. Just the classic pixel photo profiles and processing. In my opinion,
Mhm.
I really love it. I love the editor as well. Google Photos has my favorite editor of any like default editing app within a gallery. I like it way better than Samsung's.
Yeah,
Just way more features and it just looks a lot cleaner and yeah, just really loving the photo so far. I have yet to take a video. I'm really curious to see what that's gonna be like. I might do that tomorrow for church or something.
yeah.
Just record some videos. But yeah, overall the photos have been like rock solid. Took my dog out today. We're able to get some really cute pictures of her, so I'm not mad
Nice.
about it at all. Edge detection is really good still. It's a pixel. That's how I
Yeah.
feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, you'll be able to give a
Um,
more way more detailed explanation of
yeah,
cameras.
so I literally just shot a video, actually talking about
Already.
the pro features alone by itself. I'm trying to in the process of editing that and getting it up for you guys as soon as possible. But I want to say that the quality is really good. I haven't compared it yet to like the iPhone 15 raw files yet, but I just want to say that if you are a Pixel user and you have the Pro, or just not even just a Pro, but just the 8 in general, the quality is really good. I know a lot of these tech YouTubers are going to be having their comparisons and you picking between those two. Personally, I don't like to do photos that way. I like to just show you how good that phone can take a photo because when you when you do comparisons in that sense, you're you're nitpicking between two photos to try to see what is better out of one. But
Yeah,
in the
basically.
reality of it, the iPhone, the Samsung and LGs and the Xiaomi and all of these other phones today, all of these phones are good with photos, literally good, and
Mhm.
I prefer to like hyper focus how good a phone is by just showing you photos strictly from that phone and what you can get out of it. I feel like you'll learn to appreciate it more that way than trying to, oh well, the iPhone shadows is bad over here, but it's better on the Pixel, so that makes the Pixel phone better. It doesn't. So, based on because photography is very subjective, and then situations, lighting conditions, a lot of stuff play into these photos and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah,
I want to say that the Pixel is a win. The Pixel camera is a win, man. Anybody who get it is gonna love it.
yeah, I completely agree with what you were saying. I feel like cameras are
Mhm.
so good these days. It's literally just a preference thing.
It is.
Samsung's colors versus iPhone's true to lifeness, I guess, versus Google's photo processing. Like, pick what you want at this point. Like, I don't think
Yep.
anything is like terrible. Like some may be like worse in certain situations than the
Oh,
other,
for
but
sure.
it's all up to preference. Is like what you're willing to deal with or
Hmm.
what you're wanting your phone to output. Basically, at this
Yeah,
point.
and that's why like I'm a like oh man, I tried to watch Pixel videos of like versus another phone or another camera, and I turn them off like 30 seconds within because one, I'm a photographer, so I'm not gonna let another YouTuber creator, content creator try to tell me about a camera. First of all,
Yeah.
I'm open to somebody who's more professional in that field than somebody who isn't. If you like, I'm gonna use like Marquez real quick as an example, right? Because he's a big name everyone knows, or Super Seth, or even Mr. Who's the Boss. I'm just throwing big names out there, right?
Mhm.
And these are big creators, and they do a lot of comparisons sometimes, or talk about the cameras. Well, Marquez don't do comparisons, but they talk about the cameras. I I look at these guys as professionals in their field of what they do. Maybe Marquez is a great video guy. He's professional. Any advice that he says about video, I will probably take heed to that. Super Seth, any advice about tech and stuff like that, I'll take heed to that. Same thing with Mr. Who's the Boss. But when it comes to like photography, I ain't taking no advice from them. I
Mhm.
their profession doesn't line up with my profession when it comes to photography. And that's no offense to them guys at all, because they're good at what they do. But I would take more advice from like Peter McKinnon. when it comes to like photography. If he's saying something, I'll take heed to what he may be saying the most, because people like me and him live and breathe photography every day. We live and
Right.
breathe photos every day. These other guys, they grab different phones, devices, and tech, and they review. They're good at reviewing, and if they give me advice about reviewing on my channel, I'll take it. But it's like a mailman. You're trying to be a doctor, and a mailman's giving you advice about being a doctor versus a doctor giving you advice about being a doctor. I mean, as a big analogy, big change, but I just need y'all to see where I'm coming from when I say that. So, um, yeah, I just try to stay away from a lot of these reviewers when it comes to that, because I'm not
Yeah.
saying their opinion don't matter, but it's too subjective to
Yeah.
try to crown somebody king, somebody as a better phone when it
Yeah,
comes to
especially
camera.
today's days. I feel like maybe 5 years ago, it would've been a lot easier to nitpick, but
Yeah,
right now, it's a lot of competition, like,
it's a
everyone's
lot.
producing good photos. Everyone's
Yeah,
producing good, even budget phones.
even
Pixel
budget
7
phones.
Pixel
Yeah,
7a, Galaxy A series, they will still create postable images, like, it's not as
yeah.
bad as what some people say it is, for sure.
And we're talking about on social media at that. You know what I'm saying? Like people, they're
Right,
not
it's
taking these
legit
photos and
to get
blowing up on
affected.
on a wall.
Right, right.
So yeah, man, that's how I feel. But man, yeah, the camera is probably one of my favorite things about it. And like I said, y'all about to see me blow Twitter up with a lot of cool images. Y'all gonna be shocked about the
Oh,
images that
yeah.
I take and come out with this. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, so it's gonna be fun. Like I say, I'm not gonna really, as you can see on my page, I stopped kind of doing the whole versus thing with the photos and stuff, because I mean, like I say again, you're looking at two photos side by side, and you're just trying to pick things that you don't
Basically,
like about one to pick
yeah.
another one. And that's not how you enjoy photo. And you notice that it got so bad on tech Twitter or X that when I post an actual photography photo, people want to know if it came from a camera or a phone, and they're like trying. They never really be like, oh, nice shot, nice picture. Like they never taken heed of the memory that I'm sharing with them, but it's more always technical with them. They want to diagnose it and dissect it and rip it apart and talk about certain things of it and this and that to the third. And it's just, I'm like, wow. So it just got really that bad into tech Twitter, where everything has to be a versus. And sometimes somebody just want to share a picture of their kid, and you got to be like, what phone? So it just got that bad, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, improvements, what would you say needs to be improved, just after your 3 days with the phone? Is there anything that you could, like, noticeably see that you would, wanna improve for the next release? Is it, like, anything obvious?
Yeah, there's still some things I still want for this to be like the perfect device for me. And this a lot of this stuff is mainly on the software side. I do want a little bit more customizations in the
That's fair.
launcher. Basically, I want to say three things. I want to be able to actually use an icon launcher, right? I mean pack.
Icon pack,
Yeah, I
yep.
definitely want to use icon pack, right? Then I also want to be able to actually hide my app draw. I mean, not
Yeah.
hide my app draw. I'm sorry, hide
Hide
apps.
in
Yes, I
your
want to
app
be able to
drawer.
hide apps. I love using that feature, and I want to be able. It was one more thing. Hide apps, and I want to be able to organize my app drawer. I want to be able to do that as well. So as of
So
right
you want
now,
multiple sections of your app drawer?
yeah. So like on my Galaxy phone, I can
Yeah, I
use
see what you're saying.
uh folders. So I
Okay.
want to be able to do that again. Yeah. So it's just those simple things that can add to the launcher that I would like. I still want them to actually upgrade the fingerprint sensor. Now, I'm not complaining saying that it's bad, because it's the same sensor from last year, which I really didn't have a problem with. But I know there's a better sensor out there. That's where my problem lies in it,
That's
right?
that's
The
literally what
ultra,
I think about it. Like,
yeah,
I've missed a few
mhm,
times, like, tried to do it, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Dang, the Samsung will feel significantly better than this." Like,
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like the ultrasonic fingerprint on the Galaxy, I know it's better, right? For a fact. But I'm not saying that this one is bad. It's not
Oh,
bad.
it's not.
But
Yeah, it's not
because
bad.
in the back of my head, I'm like, we just need to just move every phone to ultrasonic because ultrasonic is just better. So give me
Why not? Yeah.
ultrasonic.
Why
Yeah.
not go to
So
better technology at
yeah.
this point?
So
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So therefore, I want them to do that next year, and then the front camera. Now, I'm 100% happy that we can actually use the front camera for our banking apps now. This is a big win for me. All day
Okay.
yesterday, I was using it to unlock my apps. Oh my god, it feels so good. I'm just looking at my phone now. It feels like how I do on my iPhone. So, and I love that. But I want it to work at night. So I want some type of radar in
Right.
there or whatever they got to put in there to, sensor in there to be able to see infrared sensor to see my face and then unlock it even at night. That's the only thing. Those software changes, those hardware changes,
Those
man,
will
the
be
Pixel would be like a big major win for me, man. Like literally, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but literally for me, if they can make these changes one of these years, I would be 100% happy. I have no complaints about Tensor. I have no complaints about the screen anymore. They fixed it because I didn't have many complaints about the screen, but it's up there at the industry standard now. 2000 nits up to max 2400 nits, major
mhm.
win for me, man. It's flat, major win for me. Uh
Right.
slightly bigger battery, major win for me. Faster charging, major win for me. So really no complaints.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that way as well. The fingerprint sensor is like the biggest one that I noticed, just because I use it so much,
Mhm.
and because I'm coming from the Galaxy S23 Ultra with the ultrasound fingerprint sensor, whatever. Like, it's a very noticeable difference. Like, I
Night
don't
and day.
miss every time, but it's like I don't hit every time either. Like, you could
Yeah.
just tell. You could just
Yeah.
tell.
The thing is that with the Pixel, you have to think about it. That's the thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ultrasonic, I just put it up
Exactly.
there, and that's my
Right.
thing. That's the only thing. Like I say, it's not bad. I know some people said it was bad, like other creators and stuff like that, but no, it's not. It's just you just have to think about it. That's it,
Yeah,
and you shouldn't
and
have to.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, and, I agree with you 100% on, like, some of the
Mhm,
different customization options that Google has. They need more. I'm very surprised that they still don't allow you to, upload, like, third-party icon packs. Like,
yeah,
Apple beat them to that, which is wild to me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's insane. Google needs to make that put that in the future drop in December for sure. Um
Mhm,
Yeah, just customization in general. I do think they could do better with their app drawer. I think they try to keep it that way, just
mhm,
because it's reliable and the performance will always be good.
yeah.
But overall, I think customization is lacking.
Yeah, and I'm not even to be honest with you, I'm not even asking for Google to give us like full blown Samsung customization because I could care less to be honest with
We
you
just need
because I
more
don't
options.
I don't customize I don't customize much on my Galaxy phone anymore. I'm very simple when it comes to things.
Me too.
Yeah, I
Me
agree
too.
with you about having the option, but I think if they went too heavy, then we would lose the magic of the OS being so smooth and the animations and everything like that. But
I agree.
I do think like basic ones need to be in there, like
Yeah,
the
there are
ID
some
tag and
basic
stuff like
things that
that.
they could tweak
Yeah,
to make the eyes better. Like you said, folders, like
yeah,
that would be
yes,
clutch.
yes,
Sections in the app drawer, that would be clutch. Like
mhm.
you don't have to do anything but literally add sections next to what you have. Like you're good.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
still need to keep it kind of light, and plus, that's the beauty of Android and the different OSs is having the options to go to different OSs though. But I think
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
stuff should be baked in vanilla Android because if you got to remember this. Me and I talk about this all the time. Whatever Google bakes into vanilla Android, everyone gets it, and that's a really good thing. You know what I'm saying? So like the
Yeah.
split screen, you remember where Google didn't have split screen, Samsung did. They had to make their own version of it. Then Google baked it in there, so now everyone has split screen. So it's just like one of those situations where if Google gets it, we know that other people are going to get it. While other ones do have their own software they slap on top of it and give us these other great features and stuff like that. And I know for a lot of people, it's hard going from like a Samsung phone to a Pixel because you realize that you lose a lot of like the customizations though. But
Yeah. For
that's
me,
where Google. Mhm.
Yeah,
I
for
was gonna
me
say that's where
personally,
Google has their magic. I'm sorry.
you good, you good. But yeah, for me personally, like that wasn't a big deal because I don't have the time to dive into Android like I used to back in the day.
Yes.
Like I can't customize everything. I don't really upload like a third party launcher anymore and
Mhm.
mess around with all the icons and make everything look aesthetic as they call it and all that. I just don't have the time for that anymore. So just
Mhm.
going to like something as basic as a pixel could be a good thing for somebody like me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's how I feel too. I back in the days I used to tinker with my phones a lot, but I don't have the time for that anymore. So, just the basic customizations is totally fine for me. I know people, talked about the lock screen customizations that they didn't have, but they have them now because Apple had it and stuff like that. I really didn't care about the lock screen stuff because I mean, if I'm being honest, I spend maybe a second or two on a lock screen at max, if anything, or sometimes like I even have my phone unlocked with my fingerprint and my face to unlock and don't even see the lock, the
yeah.
lock screen. Like I don't spend any time on it. Like I never thought about the lock screen anymore until, people start being happy about the iPhone having customizations on the lock screen. I was like, oh, that's right, lock screens. Like it's not like everyone don't care, and some people
Oh
just
yeah,
got to understand that that's the reality. And as a person who used to root phones and want all this crazy features and stuff like that, I did a lot of that stuff and literally never had a situation to use half those features, man. Literally, all the modding I've ever done to my phones, I barely use any of those features that I modded. And
yeah.
with the Pixel, all the features that this Pixel offers sits in the background and stays out the way, and they work without me having to think about it. And I think that's why I love my Pixel so much, is that I no longer have to worry about tinkering with stuff. Stuff just work without me thinking about it, and I like that.
And the fact that they're going all in on AI, I feel like just makes it even better. Like the Pixel's
Yes.
definitely the smartest phone out. Like it's no
Oh,
debate.
hands down, hands down,
It's
hands
no
down.
debate at all. Like all the things that it's doing, like in the background to make your
Hmm.
life easier. Like nobody's doing anything like that, and that's another reason why I picked up the Pixel 8 Pro over the other options that I went over earlier, just because of those ease of life features and just knowing that they'll continue doing that.
Yes, and I think that you made a good choice, and I hope you have a good experience because everybody's experience is different with these pixels and stuff. To be honest, but I talked in one of my live streams that Google and there's here's dang, I ain't got my iPhone with me, but let's just say one of these is an iPhone, right? And these three phones are in a race to be the best. Samsung, let's say this is Samsung and Apple over here. They're racing to have the better experience, ecosystem, powerful. They're all that. They're hungry for power, ecosystem stuff, and everything else. And then
Yeah,
Google realized, like, hey, they beat us, man. They're there already. So where can we challenge them at? And they swerved into their own lane and chose
exactly.
AI. They
I
chose AI.
literally, I literally texted Ike the same
Hmm.
thing. Either it was today or yesterday. I'm like, the
Hmm.
reason why that was the major reason why I picked a Pixel is because nobody else is doing anything with AI right now.
Nobody.
No, nobody's doing anything else with AI right now. That's why
Hmm.
I work for an AI company, so I know
Yes,
how AI is
that's
going to
that's what
be.
I'm saying. And
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody say. And I would say that the only people that would probably challenge me on this would be like iPhone users right now, literally. No offense to singling them out. I apologize though, but it's the feedback that I've been getting from them on X, like them in general. So that's why I'm saying this, but I'm not saying that this is everybody, right? I'm just really speaking on X. Um, they don't like the fact that the AI stuff is really becoming a thing, and Apple's not doing it. So therefore, because Apple's not doing it, all they can keep arguing is like powerful chip, gaming, and heat. But they can't even
video.
talk heat now because iPhone was having heating issues, just like any other phone now, right? But AI is literally the future, and I'm sorry, Google has it. Google is right. They're doing it right. They're hyper focusing it, and they're implementing it now. So when AI become a thing and Apple start implementing it, and Samsung, Google is going to be 7 or 8, 9 years ahead of them already, literally, because they already already a decade over them right now. If I had to say right now, if I had to be honest, they're already a decade ahead of them.
Oh,
You know what I
easily.
mean? And they're continuing to focus that. That's their general focus. If you're gonna see their presentations change so much over the years, and they're gonna, like, I even said when Google said they were announcing the Pixels this year, I said I'm really excited for the AI stuff. I said that. That's the first thing I said because I know that Google is focused on that, and AI, like I said, is the future because not only Google was focused on AI. You work for a company that has AI. Photoshop has AI. Adobe has AI. Let me just put Adobe because Photoshop and Lightroom has it. DaVinci has AI inside their new video editing program. Everyone is implementing some type of form of AI to do stuff to generative. What is it? Generative AI.
Mhm.
I got is that the word? Everyone is
Yeah.
doing it. It don't have to just be phones or Google. Everyone is implementing that some way. Um, Real quick, I'm sorry, rallies, aka checkers. I don't know what it's called in everybody's state, but rallies. My
Yeah.
rallies,
Right.
I showed a video. I don't know if you've seen it on my Twitter at the time when it was Twitter. I pulled up to the driveway and a AI literally took my order. A
Yeah.
AI. There's no person no more. There's no person. And if you haven't seen that clip, I'll grab it, show it to you. There's no person.
I
It was
saw that.
literally a AI in the speaker. And every time I go there, I keep forgetting. I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And she's talking to me. And she's like, when I told her to hold on, she says, okay. Then I say, I'm ready. And then I just start saying my order and she picks that up. That's insane, dude. And like I say, I'm blabbing again. I'm sorry, but I just like to stress this and get this out that Google is right by running their own race because now
Exactly.
Google
Yep.
is winning. They are winning. They were behind because they were trying to keep up with all the power. They were trying to keep up with the ecosystem stuff and everything like that. And Google is slowly building an ecosystem in the long run as well. But the AI is what's putting them ahead. That's all I gotta say, man.
Easily. Yep. Just like you said, that's the perfect way to end it. Google
Yep.
is running a race of their own, and it's going to benefit them. This
Yep.
is this is the smartest phone in the world
Smartest
right
phone.
now. Easily. It's like not debatable either. It's not
Nope.
debatable at all.
It's not. I mean,
Crazy
what can
part.
you can't go, you can't even pick up another phone and go feature for feature with the AI stuff. You can't. So
No.
yeah, it's not debatable right now. Not now at least. Maybe in the future, but right now, no, it's not.
And then the crazy thing is, like, it's not like they haven't fully released Bard yet, so it's gonna
Exactly.
be it's gonna be crazier. Like they're gonna be stomping on everybody in the next few months. Like
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
definitely,
So
man.
yeah, I think that's a good point to wrap up. I enjoy talking to you as always. Really good catching up.
Always.
Definitely hope to get consistent with this again. I think I'll definitely be available next week. So we
All
could
right.
just follow up on the Pixels again and talk about any other news that go throughout the week. Appreciate the viewers that joined and the one in here right now. I think next week we may just do it on our channels as well, so we can have more engagement and answer any questions that people from our
Definitely.
channels have. Because I think that went well in the past, so that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, again, nice talking to you, bro.
Definitely,
Appreciate
man.
site. Definitely can't wait to watch your videos, especially the ones on the camera features. That's going to be really nice to see. And I don't know if we're going to have a guest next week. I will really want to. I have someone in mind. I'll shoot you a Telegram message in a minute. But
All right.
yeah, let's just wrap this up. We'll see you guys
All
next
right.
week and watching.
All right, everyone. Peace out. Mr. Pixel signing out.